Hi, 8th grade. All right, so I'm going to change up your lesson a little bit. I was going to spread this out into two parts, but I think I'm just going to try to do it all in one. So what I need you to do is write at the top of your page 6.2, and then the lesson is called Representations of Functions. So go ahead and write that down. Basically, what we're doing is we're still talking about functions, but we're talking about how, like, when you're finding those patterns that you're seeing all the time, it means it's because something's happening to it, okay? For example, like we've got this cool machine, right? This machine is kind of like the dog treat machine, okay? If my input was -2 and I put it into this specific machine, this machine's specific rule is your output equals 3 times the input, right? It says it right on the machine that that's the function rule. If that's the rule, then whatever I put my x in for my x, I should get something different for a y, right? They're telling me if I put in -2 for x, I should get back a -6, right? So basically what this chapter is saying is those functions that we've been making with our cute little bubbles, inputs and outputs, I want you to realize that there's actually patterns being used to help you know what the function rule is. The function rule is what is going on to get the next number, okay? I'll do a couple of examples with you. How about this? Let's do number 1. Write this one in your notes. You should take notes of all of these, okay? Number 1 says, write a function rule. Function rules are the things that are happening to the inputs and the outputs, okay? For this, okay, here it is. The output, which you guys know is your y, is means what? Equals 5 less than the input. So it's not going to be 5 minus the input. It's going to be the input take away 5. Super important that you have those two figured out. It's not 5 minus the input. It's the input take away 5 because it's 5 less, right? So it's going to be the input, which is our x's, minus 5. Okay? This right here, this fancy equation we just made, is the function rule. So maybe in your notes write this down. Function rule, the equation that is formed by a function. Okay. Remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video. Let me get this little white sheet of paper down here. What about this one? Write a function rule for this one. The function rule for this, the output, which is our y, is, which is our equals, the square of the input. Input is our x. The square, what the heck is that? The square of the input. All that means is, you guys, is that if I had like the output and I squared it, I should get the input, right? So let me erase this and I'll show you what they did on the answer. There you go. The output, which is y, is, which is the equals, the square, which is the squared, of the input. So my final answer would be y equals x squared. That's my function rule. Let's go ahead and do number 2 down here at the bottom of the page. Okay. Number 2 is pretty simple. They're just saying, find the value of y when x is 5. So just plug in a 5 for that x. This would be y equals 4 times 5 minus 1. That's 20 minus 1. Y equals 19. That's it. How about this one? Y equals 10 times 5. 10 times 5 is 50. Easy. How about this one? 7 minus 3 times 5 equals y. 3 times 5 is 15. 7 minus 15. Signs are different, so we subtract. 15 minus 7 is 8. Who's the bigger number? 15. So it's going to be y equals negative 8. You're going to have something like that on your homework where it tells you to plug in x for these equations. It's so easy, guys. We've done it for the past year now, okay? No weird tricks. I guess some of the big things you really do need to know, though, the word is means equals. The word of means times. The word per means divide. Okay? Keep those in mind because that'll really help you when trying to come up with a function rule or, as we say, an equation. Go on to the next page. A function can be represented by an input and an output table, just like what we were doing, except for ours were like these cute little bubbles like this with arrows, but instead just picture it as like a chart now. Okay, we got inputs, we got outputs. Here's the ordered pairs. Could you figure out a function rule from this table? You could. Here's what you got to do. First, they drew it onto the line. They graphed it, okay? Once they graphed it, they asked, what is the patterns, right? What are we seeing here? By drawing a line through the points, you graphed all of the solutions for the function at y equals x plus 2. Is this y equals mx plus b? Sure. What is the b? Well, after you graphed them, you could clearly see that the b was 2, the y-intercept, right? Then you just ask yourself, what's the slope? Slope is up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. There are other times where you'll get a cool graph like this, a little table, and it says make an input-output table. So here's the inputs, here's the outputs, here's the ordered pairs. This is the function rule. They gave it to you. Basically what they're saying is if I gave you these inputs and you put them into the function rule, you should be able to get your outputs, which means you could have ordered pairs, which means you could go graph it. Okay? Okay, let's look at number 5. Number 5 says graph the function. I'm going to do just quick little sketches for these, okay? Do I have y equals mx plus b? Yes. What is my y-intercept? Plus 1. My slope is up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And there's my function. How about this? Is this y equals mx plus b? A lot of kids are going to say, no. But you guys, just because they didn't give you the b doesn't mean it's not there. It's just plus 0. So if I were to sketch this, what's my y-intercept? 0. And the slope is down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1. Or I could go up 3, back 1, up 3, back 1. And there'd be my function. Graph this little guy. My y-intercept is up 2. My slope is up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. Or I could say down 3, back 1. Down 3, back 1. Okay, I know that I went through this lesson pretty quick, but you can stop the video and you can go backwards and rewatch it, okay? But here's what I need you to do. I'm going to tell you your homework. First thing I need you to do is save 4, 5, and 6 for when I come back. I want to do those ones with you, okay? Your homework that I want you to work on, though, is going to be 7 through 25. And I'm giving you plenty of time to work on it in class. This video is only like 10 minutes long. So you'll have 10 minutes to watch this video, and then you'll have plenty of time to do the homework, okay? So 7 through 25, and then don't worry about 4, 5, and 6. I want to do those with you together, okay? 7 through 12 says write a function rule. Remember, when you're writing a function rule, I'll do one with you real quick. you try to write what you see in words as like an equation. Output is always your y. The output, so that's y, is means equals half of the input. So input is x, half of it would be like divide by 2. There's your function rule. That's it. Okay? You're going to do that for 7 through, what did I say, 7 through 12? Let me get rid of my box right here. 7 through 12, that's all you're going to do. Now, 13 through 18, these ones are super easy. All they're saying is find the value of y if x is 3. Plug it in. Find the value of y if x is negative 5. Plug it in. Find the value of y if x is 9. Plug it in. Okay? Super easy, 13 through 18. 19 through 24, I do want you to go grab some graph paper. These are all in the y equals mx plus b formation, so you should have no problem graphing these. As I look at number 22, I can already tell you that this is 1 over 4, that's your slope. Plus 0, that's your y-intercept. Okay? Okay. Take some time, do these assignments. I will check them on Friday. All right, bye guys.